Hi everyone, and welcome. So you've decided to learn Python. That's awesome. You've probably installed it and now you're thinking, okay, what next? Where do I actually write my Python code? And how do I make the computer run it? Do you type commands somewhere special? Do you need to save them in a file first? These are super common questions when you're starting out. Don't worry, it's simpler than you think. In this video, we're going to learn the two main ways to run Python code. First, we'll look at the interactive mode, which is great for quick tests and trying things out. Second, we'll learn about script mode, where you save your code in files to build bigger, reusable programs. Understanding this difference is super important before you can really start building things in Python. Oh, and before we dive in, remember to check the video description below. For every lesson, I'll include links to related resources like the code snippets we use, challenge exercises, downloadable guides, a quick quiz to test your knowledge, and key takeaways. Everything you need to succeed. All right, let's get started with a little bit of theory. How does Python code actually run? Your Python code, the instructions you write, can't run all by itself. It needs a special program called the Python interpreter. Think of the interpreter as a translator. It reads your Python code line by line, understands what you want to do, and tells the computer how to do it, producing the output or actions you asked for. So the first way to talk to this interpreter is called interactive mode. This is like having a direct conversation with Python. You type one command, and Python runs it immediately, showing you the result. This is often called the REPL, which stands for Read-Eval-Print Loop. Read, Python reads the command you just typed. Eval, it figures out or evaluates what that command means. Print, it prints the result back to your screen. Loop, then it waits for your next command, looping back to the read step. How do you get into this mode? Usually, you just open your computer's terminal or command prompt and type the command Python, or sometimes Python 3 depending on your setup, and hit enter. You'll know you're in interactive mode when you see these three angle brackets. That's the Python prompt, waiting for your command. Interactive mode is fantastic for doing quick calculations, testing a small bit of code to see if it works, trying out new Python features you just learned about, or just generally exploring. The key thing is, whatever you type here isn't saved anywhere permanently. Now, what if you want to write a longer program, something you can save and run again later? That's where script mode comes in. In script mode, you write your Python instructions in a plain text file. You can use any text editor, even simple ones like Notepad or TextEdit, or more advanced code editors like VS Code or PyCharm. The important part is that you usually save these files with a .py extension. That py tells everyone, hey, this is a Python script. Once you have your script file saved, you go back to your terminal or command prompt. But instead of just typing Python, you type Python followed by the name of your script file, like Python my program, py. The interpreter then reads the entire file from top to bottom and runs all the instructions inside it. Script mode is what you'll use for almost all real Python development. It's how you build actual applications, save your work, create reusable pieces of code, automate tasks, and handle anything more complex than a quick one-line test. So the main difference? Interactive mode is for immediate one-off commands and tests. Script mode is for writing saved, complete programs in .py files that you can run whenever you want. Okay, enough theory. Let's actually try running some Python code using both methods. Follow along with me. First, let's try the interactive mode. Open up your terminal or command prompt. If you're not sure how, just search your computer for terminal or command prompt or PowerShell. Now type Python or Python 3 if Python doesn't work, and hit enter. See those symbols? That means we're talking directly to the Python interpreter. Let's try a simple command. Type print testing interactive mode and press enter. See, it immediately prints the text back to us. We can also do math. Try typing 10/2 and press enter. Python calculates it and shows the result, 5.0. We can even create temporary variables. Type x equals 5 and press enter. Nothing seems to happen, but Python now remembers that x holds the value 5. To see it, type print x and press enter. There it is. Cool, right? Now to leave the interactive mode, just type exit and press enter, or quit works too. And we're back to our regular terminal prompt. Okay, part 2, let's try script mode. Open up any simple text editor. I'll use VS Code, but Notepad or TextEdit works fine too. Create a new file. Now let's type a few lines of Python code. First, a comment. Lines starting with hap are ignored by Python. They're just notes for humans. Let's add my first script pi. Then print this message comes from a Python script. On the next line, username code explorer. Then print hello username. This F string is a handy way to include variables inside text. And finally, print script finished. Now the crucial step, save this file. Go to File, Save As. Make sure you know where you're saving it. Maybe in your C drive, create a new folder called Future Coding Stars. And most importantly, name the file my first script.py. Don't forget that .py at the end. Click Save. Okay, file saved. Let's go back to our terminal window. Now this is super important. Your terminal is probably open in your home directory. We need to tell it to navigate to the same folder where we just saved our myfirstscript.py file. The command for this is cd, which stands for change directory. If you created a Future Coding Stars folder inside your main user folder, you might type cd Future Coding Stars. Once you think you're in the right folder, you can type ls on Mac Linux or dir on Windows and press enter to list the files. You should see myfirstscript.py listed there. Perfect. Now that we're in the right directory, we can run the script. Type python myfirstscript.py and press enter. Look at that. It printed all 3 lines from our script. This message comes from a Python script, hello code explorer, and script finished. It ran the whole file. Now, running code, especially scripts, can sometimes lead to errors when you're starting. Let's look at a couple of common ones so you know what to do. Mistake number 1, trying to run the script from inside the interactive mode. If I type Python to get the prompt, and then I type Python myfirstscript.py, boom, syntax error. Why? Because the prompt expects Python code, not commands for the terminal, like Python file name, py. Remember to exit the interactive mode first before running a script command. Mistake number 2, running the script command from the wrong directory. Let me use cd to go up 1 level so I'm no longer in the folder with my script. Now if I try Python myfirstscript.py, error again, FileNotFoundError. Python is telling us it can't find the file because we're not looking in the right place. Always make sure you use cd to navigate to the correct folder before running the script. And one more thing, forgetting to save your changes. Watch this. I'll go back to my editor, change the last line to print script finished with exclamation marks. Now, without saving, I go back to the terminal and run Python myfirstscript.py. See? It still prints the old message without the exclamation marks because the interpreter runs the saved version of the file. You must remember to save your changes in the editor, Control-S or Command-S is your friend, before you run the script again to see the changes. Let me save it now. And run it again. Ah, there we go, the new output. All right, now it's your turn to practice. Here's a small challenge for you. Don't forget the details are also in the description below. Your challenge is to 1. Create a new Python script. Call it info.py. 2. Inside this script, write 3 separate print statements. The first should print your name. The second should print today's date. You can just write it as text for now, like April 12th, 2025. The third should print a fun fact about Python, like Python is named after Monty Python. 3. Save the file and run it from your terminal. Make sure you see all 3 lines printed. 4. As a bonus, try to print the same 3 pieces of information using only the interactive Python mode. Notice how the process feels different. Pause the video here, give it a try, and see how you do. How did the challenge go? Hopefully you got it working. Now, a quick word on making life easier. While using a basic text editor and the terminal works perfectly fine, many developers use something called an Integrated Development Environment, or IDE. Think of tools like VS Code, PyCharm, or Thonny. These combine a powerful text editor, a built-in terminal, and often a simple run button, all in one window. They can make writing and running scripts much quicker. If you plan on doing more Python, exploring an IDE is a great next step. Awesome work today. Let's quickly recap what we learned. We learned the 2 essential ways to run Python code. 1. Interactive mode, accessed by typing Python in the terminal, gives you the prompt for typing commands one by one, getting immediate results, perfect for quick tests. Script mode, where you write code in Py files and run the whole file from the terminal using Python, your script name, Py. This is how you save your code and build actual programs. Knowing when to use each of these modes will really help you as you learn more Python. Remember to check the description for the code, the challenge details, a downloadable cheat sheet, the quiz, and this summary. So we know how to run code now, but what kind of code can we actually write? What can we do with Python? In the very next lesson, we'll dive into the absolute basics, variables and data types. We'll learn how Python stores different kinds of information like numbers and text, which is the foundation for everything else. It's where the real coding begins. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, happy coding, and I'll see you in the next video.